good evening, and happy Monday. Welcome to Sports Gladiators Live on the Basement Show. Literally live in the basement now. If you haven't seen our post, I am officially our new home. I moved my computer and stuff down to the downstairs room. So now I have a lovely backdrop behind me that my two best friends, Morgan and Kevin, got me for my birthday. But we are live in the basement. I'm saying that proud and loud. Good evening, Ron. Thanks for popping in tonight.
Good evening, sir. Hi, everybody. Thanks for popping in. Lot going on this week, so looks like we're gonna have some great topics. Hopefully, we get some people in the chat to sort through all this craziness this week.
That is true. I mean, I'm gonna share out the chat right away so we can get the ball rolling. But yeah, I mean, so I didn't mean to get too overexcited, but having this backdrop behind me makes me look important now.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I like it. I like it.
So, Curtis in the chat. Good evening, Curtis. Thank you for popping in tonight.
Hey, Curtis.
Hello, all.
Gary.
Looks good, John. Gary is the one who helped me last night move everything. So, if we can give Gary a round of applause for his excellent midnight work last night.
Good job. Good job.
Getting this all together. So.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just tuning in, there's a lot of football news to talk about. A week away from the start of the free agency, and Ron has an awesome list prepared, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
All right. Well, like I said, there's lots going on. Some of the big news out of the league last couple of days. Derek Carr is about to sign a deal, or has signed a deal, to join New Orleans Saints. He is signed for 4 years at $150 million with $100 million guaranteed. I think it's a great move for New Orleans. I think they've been kind of lacking in that department for the last couple of years and just kind of throwing in Band-Aids here and there. But I think that Derek Carr should do a real nice job there. Looks like Michael Thomas is going to stay on. He's got some great other weapons. And I think that it's just going to be a real good situation for New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It shores up the quarterback position. They haven't really had that franchise quarterback since Drew Brees wound up leaving. I think they said, 2017, they were doing a quarterback carousel between Taysom Hill getting some games, Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston. So now you have that solidified QB1 in the locker room, and I think that whole morale of that team changes.
Yeah, just having the consistency,
Yeah.
I think is going to be a big deal for them. Over in Dallas, Tony Pollard gets franchise tagged. Looks like he's making about $10 million for next season. So that's kind of a bargain for them, I would say. Now they're just going to have to decide what to do with Zeke. They're going to have to either release him or trade him. And I don't know that there's really a big trade market for Zeke at this point. So, but you never know. I mean, there's other teams out there that maybe take a fly on him, but I think that he's been on a steady decline for the last couple of years, and I just don't see teams making any kind of major investment in him at this point.
Yeah, well, not with his cap hit. I think if I remember correctly, his cap hit next year is $23 million, and nobody's gonna pay that for an aging running back who, like you said, has declined the last couple of years. If you want to talk about Ezekiel Elliott 2-3 years ago,
that's a little different. Yeah,
a whole different story. But
Yep.
Now you're talking about Ezekiel Elliott, who, like you said, is on that slow decline, who actually lost his starting job. I'm not paying him $23 million next season. There's no way.
Not a chance.
So
Not with the potential for this quarter market to just go into insane levels at this point. I mean, we got Daniel Jones up in New York that's trying to get $45 million, and he's Daniel stinking Jones, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pay Daniel Jones $45 million, now you got Justin Herbert coming up, you got Jalen Hurts coming up, you got quarterbacks that are going to say, hey, you know, you gave this guy 40, 45, I want 50.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you're really going to start getting into the stratosphere where these guys, these quarterbacks are taking up a huge chunk of your salary cap.
No, I think I had mentioned before the show, like, what is it now? Like, the average quarterback takes up 21 to 22% of your cap space as it is.
Yeah.
So,
And then you're just talking about pushing it even higher.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, easy solution. Call Roger Goodell. Every year, no matter what, $300 million cap space for every team. That way, quarterbacks get their money and teams aren't running bankruptcy around quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't see many owners lining up for that one.
No, but it's just worth a try.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. We got Calvin Ridley. Jumped off his FanDuel account long enough to get reinstated. So, which is why he got suspended in the first place for placing bets on a online gambling site.
Yep.
So, yeah, but he's back, and he should be a real nice piece to add to that surprising yet not so surprising situation in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Just another weapon for Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. I think that can be if he stayed in any kind of shape, I think that could be a big plus for them.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, when Atlanta traded him last year, I was like, how are you going to trade a suspended player? But then looking at the team that he went to, I was like, damn, this might actually benefit Calvin Ridley in the end. Resurgence career down North Florida, 85 degrees, sunny. You're going to a very young team who has showed tremendous upside the last 2 years. So it might be a match made in heaven.
And I guarantee you, the day he was reinstated, he had a playbook get to him via FedEx.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does his due diligence and really adds another dimension to the surging Jacksonville Jaguars.
I completely agree.
And they also tagged Evan Ingram.
Yep.
With a franchise tag for Evan Ingram there in Jacksonville as well.
Like I said, I think that's about $9 million, which is actually a very good investment because Evan Ingram came on late last year for Jacksonville, and he made some pretty big catches, had a couple 100-yard games toward the end of the season. So getting him acclimated now for a full year, I think is really going to help that offense even more.
All he does is catch the ball, man.
Yeah.
He's a very good receiver. He doesn't turn it over, and he runs solid routes, and he can actually block a little bit.
True.
Which is real important for a tight end. Josh Jacobs for the Las Vegas Raiders also got the franchise tag, which, like you said, it was a little bit of a surprise. I thought there was a chance they were going to let him walk, but they decided to hang on to him.
Now, speaking of Vegas, though, now that Derek Carr is completely out of the picture, what happens with Devontae Adams? He came to Las Vegas to play with his best friend, Derek Carr, who jumped ship 16 games into the reunion. So if you're Devontae Adams, like, what are you saying at this point? Are you sticking around for that contract, or are you wanting out now too?
I'm saying, hello, New Orleans Saints. Could you use another receiver?
Or I have a theory for you.
Yeah.
Or you trade him with a couple picks, and you jump up to number one. Get Chicago's pick. Now Justin Fields has that number one wide receiver, and the Devontae Adams, and now Las Vegas can get that number one overall pick, and they can start over and draft one of these younger quarterbacks.
That's not a bad plan. I mean, I hadn't really thought about that one, but that's a possibility. I mean, the other possibility is that he finds out where Aaron Rodgers is going to land, and he gets reunited with Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
Yeah.
has Rogers come out of darkness yet? I haven't heard
Yeah,
nothing.
he's out of the dark. He's not made it. He's not announced his decision yet, but he is out of his retreat. So we should be hearing about him real soon.
And well, the Saints are out. Is now the
Jets.
the Jets will probably have to be the front runner again.
Yeah, they have to be the front runner right now. I don't see him going to Carolina, so I think the Jets are definitely the guy I think matches up the best for Carolina would probably be Jimmy G. You know,
Yeah,
but hey, who knows at this point?
no, I'm just thinking in my head like Carolina's Frank Reich now. Yeah, I could Jimmy G makes some sense down there.
Yep. So that's potentially a landing spot for him, I think. So what else? Okay, Brock Purdy is actually scheduled to have another surgery on his ligaments on Friday, but they're saying that it won't seriously extend the amount of time that he's going to be out.
Well, good for
So
San Fran, I guess.
they're still looking at it like a 6-month recovery from the initial surgery.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what this second one consists of, but they said that it really shouldn't add a ton of time to his recovery period.
No matter what way you look at it, though, San Francisco's in a mess up with quarterback situation right now. With Trey Lance still not going to be 100% from his ankle surgery. Now you have Purdy having 2 surgeries. Like San Francisco could be another team that takes a flyer of a quarterback higher than you should.
Man, I just can't see them keep on stacking quarterbacks, man. It's just they're ignoring other needs to get to this extra quarterback deal, and eventually you have to stop and just say, we just got to pick a direction, and then we just got to build around it. We got to stop flip flopping around and going from place to place with these quarterbacks.
That is true. So
it's just a recipe for disaster if you keep on building that kind of inconsistency.
no, I would agree.
So now some Eagles news. There are definitely some nuggets coming out of Eagles as well. With the hiring of Sean Desai as the defensive coordinator, and he was a former assistant head coach in Seattle. He's been a defensive coordinator for the Bears. They let go Denard Wilson, the linebackers coach. The defensive back coach for the Eagles. He was a guy who was being mentioned as possibly being a candidate, an internal candidate. However, even though he had the support of Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman, Nick wanted to go in another direction. So Nick had Sean Desai on his radar. So that's basically, they let Nick make that call, not making the same mistake they made with Doug. And so then Nick and Wilson got together, and what happened was they had a meeting over the weekend, and Wilson kind of agreed that he wasn't going to be a problem. He reassured everybody that he was going to be, he would continue doing what he was doing. But Nick's concern is that there were players on the team like Slay and Bradbury and some of these other guys that were openly politicking to have Wilson be the coordinator, the defensive coordinator. And if that had happened, they were afraid it was going to splinter the locker room, that you'd have 2 different factions. You'd have the Denard Wilson faction, and then you'd have the Sean Desai faction. So rather than go through that, Nick decided that he was just going to cut ties and give Wilson the best opportunity he could uh, to land somewhere else, because there were other teams that were interested in him. However, a lot of those, the major positions have already been filled.
That is true. I mean, what's up, Trey? He says he loves the background. Thank you,
There
Trey.
you go.
But no, I mean, you don't want cancer in your locker room, whether it be part of your coaching staff or players and all that stuff. So if you're gonna have a split locker room, you gotta find the source of it. And from what you're explaining, is Wilson was going to be that source.
Yeah, even though he tried to say he wasn't going to be, I think the players had another opinion. The players were just too close to him to not have some kind of animosity towards anybody who would replace him if they let him go the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to portray that it was a mutual decision, but all reports are that it was not.
Yeah.
So,
And then there's another rumor. I don't know if you heard about this one or not. They might be bringing in a former enemy, I guess you can say, as their linebacking coach.
yes.
And there was a certain somebody who wasn't too happy with that one, and that's
Yes.
the possibility of bringing in Matt Patricia as the team's linebacker coach.
Yes. And that is a real possibility. That rumor is very strong. And Darius Slay has publicly spoke about his disdain for Matt Patricia from their days in Detroit together, when
Yep.
Patricia was the head coach and Slay was on the team, and which may lead to, and this is just kind of everybody's theories right now. There's a lot of theories flying around out there, but there's a very strong possibility that this might be Slay's ticket out of town. That there's a possibility that they might move on from Slay and trade him. And basically that would do a couple things. It will eliminate any possible friction between Patricia and Slay, and any kind of fracture in the locker room. Secondly, it will free up some cap space. And third, it may offer the opportunity, if you do move on from Slay, that there's a chance that we could do something along the lines of possibly, we have till 4:00 tomorrow to utilize the franchise tag. There are a lot of people who think that tag's going to fall on Garner Johnson. So if the tag falls on Garner Johnson and you let Slay go, then there's a real good chance that we may be able to bring Bradbury back. So that would give us Bradbury and Blankenship on the corners. And Avonte Maddox will still be your nickel, probably, and then your safeties. But I think that's something that could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a strong chance that one brick makes another brick fall, and this whole Tetris comes together. And we end up retaining a couple of guys that we didn't think we were going to be able to retain. I mean, and the other thing is you got Hassan Reddick, who I found out, I wasn't aware of, that even if he moves on, the Eagles are still on the hook for about $11 million for him. So logical thinking is, if it's going to cost you 11 to have him move on, he might only cost you maybe 17, 18 maybe. They may be able to keep him as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all going to hinge on what happens tomorrow.
That's true.
It really does.
No matter what we look at, the offense is more intact than the defense at this point.
Yes. Yeah. The only weapon you're really going to lose on offense is probably Selomalu.
Yeah.
And then the other pieces are kind of insignificant, but I mean, Miles Sanders is gone. without a doubt. Um, Probably Boston Scott's probably going as well. Um,
A lot of people
also,
hoping that's not true.
well, but I think the reality is that down the stretch, Gainwell was actually more effective.
Yeah.
So I mean, Boston Scott had some good games early in the season. He faded towards the end, and Gainwell
True.
kind of stepped into that role. And even in the Super Bowl, Gainwell played pretty damn well.
Yeah. I mean, you're not lying.
And he's younger,
Yeah. I mean, I think Boston Scott's what, 27, 28,
something like that. Yeah.
and then Gainwell's only 23, 24.
Yep.
Gary says Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
That's another real interesting one.
That one. It's they're all kind of tied together, Gar. I think. I think the situation is if the bricks start falling into place and they tag Garner Johnson and they're able to retain Reddick and Bradbury, then it gets less likely that BG is back. I mean, I think he's a guy who's a big part of that locker room. I think that he's earned the opportunity to be here, to finish his career here. But if it comes down to a numbers game, if they can keep some of these younger pieces and keep a lot more of this core into place, he may be a casualty of that. I hope not, but that's I think is more the reality of what's going on with him.
Yeah. I think we can both agree Javon Hargrave is definitely done.
Yeah, Hargrave probably done. Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, I don't think they're going to bring him back.
No, he's done. T.J. Edwards is done.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
You think he gets a good deal in the free agent market? Or?
I think he'll get offers, but I don't think he's going to make a ton of money. But he'll get offers.
Okay, then you got Kaiser White. I think that was a one and done.
I think he's done too.
Robert Quinn,
Quinn's done. Joseph and Sue, I don't think either one of them are going to be back either. I don't think. But I mean, it like I said, it all kind of hinges on what happens with these big pieces, on how many more of the little pieces you can keep.
Yeah. How would you want it to play out?
I mean, I'd kind of if we could keep, if there's a way we can keep Reddick and Bradbury and Johnson, yeah, I'm for that plan.
Okay.
That works for me. And then whatever we have left, let's see what we can do with. But I think that those three could make a big difference between having to start from scratch and having a good enough base to work with that maybe we don't have to really run from behind. Maybe we're able to at least be manageable to start learning the new system.
That's true. I mean, a whole new coaching staff. Like you said, it's going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Jason, he means Jason Kelsey.
If Kelsey decides to stay, he's staying, and they will pay him. I think that there's a chance that they could move Juergens to guard for a year or two. If Kelsey signs a 2-year deal, I think you could move for a couple years. You could move Juergens to a guard position just to get him in there and get his feet wet, and then when Kelsey eventually does retire, slide him back over in the center.
Do you think that helps or hurts his development?
I don't think it necessarily hurts. I mean, you'd love to say, you're going from being a center to be a center, but there are a lot of centers in the league that have played guard as well. So, I mean, the actual mechanics of the position are very similar as far as the footwork and stuff.
All right.
It's mainly just, run blocking is run blocking, pass blocking is pass blocking. So I think that part he really won't have that much of a difficulty with. I think he's got the speed, he's got the power, and he's very much in the Kelsey mold, so to speak. So I think that there's a good chance that they could slide him over and actually fill the position that Sayamalu will vacate if he walks when he walks.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility. So.
And then you keep the continuity almost intact in line.
Yeah, that is very true.
So.
And then the other big news: Geno Smith gets paid from Seattle.
Yep.
Which we saw. I saw it coming. I knew he was going to go back there because he's not going to get big time money anywhere else. He's going to be a backup in most every other team except the oddball ones like Carolina, Atlanta, New York Jets. Maybe he goes back where he was drafted from. But I think the most sense made sense for him to go back to Seattle.
Absolutely. I mean, he had the year that he had. He deserves another year to see what he can do there. I mean, a team that was basically thought was going nowhere when they moved Wilson, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, what's not to like? He did an amazing job. If he does 3/4 of as good as he did last year, he'll be a major contributor for them for Seattle.
Yeah, that is very true. What's going on with Carson Wentz?
He's going to be home hunting because I don't think there's any team that's going to offer him a contract at all, even as a backup.
I don't know. I think he does latch on somewhere as a backup, but it would be one of those lesser markets. I don't think you'll hear much from him again. Even though I did hear some rumbling, Kansas City might entertain the offer of bringing him in as a backup.
That would be a mistake.
I agree, but
yeah, I don't know. Andy's a big culture guy. I don't know that he wants to take on a guy who's always been hated by his teammates. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's turned the team against him.
Yep.
He's a prima donna. He's a guy that flaps his gums and he can't back it up.
That's true. Let's go back to Philly. No way. He just
no. That would be no.
It wouldn't be a no. It'd be a hell no.
Hell no.
But what did I say before the show? Free agency starts next Wednesday at 4:00 Eastern, and teams can negotiate starting at 12 o'clock next Monday afternoon. So who knows? Maybe next Monday night we'll be just doing nothing but free agency news.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, and then 4:00 tomorrow is the deadline for franchise tagging and stuff.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to happen, with that kind of stuff is going to happen by tomorrow at 4:00. So I'm sure there'll be more movement between now and then.
Yep. Time to get my notebooks ready. That's all I can say. My favorite time of season, the NFL off season.
Yep.
So, but other than football, you got some exciting baseball news too. I mean, the Phillies have faltered the last couple games, but they're still producing runs. The pitching's looking pretty solid. Aaron Nola's 2-0 now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, the Phillies are 5-5 for the spring so far. The Mets are 5-5, and the Braves are 4-4. So, everybody's kind of, it's really hard to judge spring training stats just because half of the guys that are playing aren't going to be on the team.
That's true.
So, but when if you're looking for a bright side, I mean, they're scoring runs. They got a little, they're playing a little bit of small ball, which is good to see now that the shift is no more. It is entertaining to watch these games with the pitch clock, though. It's just, you can see these guys struggling with it. And it's just, it's funny in a way.
It's going to be definitely different this year, I think, with having that in play, you're not going to see batters being able to waste time calling timeout every other pitch. Like,
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is the throwing over to first base. You can only throw over twice,
wow.
and then basically the runner could get as big a lead as he wants. So you're going to see less non-meaningful throws to first base.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to give a guy an unlimited lead, especially when they've enlarged the bags and made it easier to hang onto a bag when they're sliding in.
I was just going to say that you had mentioned a couple weeks ago that they made the bases bigger, so that's the last thing you want is that base runner to have that much more of a head start.
Right.
So, Phillies lost today 10-7 to the Baltimore Orioles. I'm just looking at the box score real fast. I mean, Alec Baum had a great game, 2 out of 3, 2 RBIs.
He's hot. He came in bulked up. He put on some weight. It's all muscle weight, and he is swinging a nice bat right now.
And your buddy Jake Cave had another big game.
Yep. And Jake Cave's he's my my pet project right now. He's my I hope he makes the team guy. Going into today, he's batting .429, and he got a couple hits today. So
yeah,
he's actually second on the team, behind Sosa, the shortstop, who's batting like .460.
.429 it says.
Yeah, well, he was batting .460 as of yesterday.
Wow.
So, but it's only because of the number of at bats, it's kind of volatile. I only picked guys that had a minimum of 4 games played up to the point that I wrote it down.
Okay, that's fair.
So I didn't take a guy who's only played in 2 games and is batting .500, JT Realmuto, but and Trey Turner's batting over .400, .417 going into today.
Yeah, it looks like Derek Hall's batting .400 too.
Yeah.
He had another home run today.
Yeah, he's hitting for some power. But I can't really root for him because of Jake Cave. Because now all of a sudden you got Rhys Hoskins. You have Kingery hitting the ball, batting almost .400. I was watching him the other day, and he was swinging a nice bat. He's totally changed his swing.
Wow.
So he went, when he got released, he really went to work, and looks like he has a chance to make the team. That would be a very interesting story if that happened.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that's really nervous right now is the status of Andrew Painter.
True.
He's complaining of some elbow tenderness. Now, the thing is that when he did pitch, he was throwing 98 miles an hour in his first outing in spring training, which is not something that they want him to do.
No.
So the fact that his average was around 96 last in college, or in the last year in Double A. I guess he was in Double A.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he ended up in Double A. So he was throwing like 96, and he got all adrenalined up in his first action, with the big club, and started whipping 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. That could be the source of the tenderness.
Yeah.
He might have just overdid it, not being stretched out enough.
Yeah. I mean.
So, but they're not taking any chances, and they're shutting him down for a week or 10 days. And then they're going to reevaluate him. But they did not send him home to Philly, so that's a good sign. Usually if there's somebody that they're concerned about as far as an injury goes, if they see something locally that looks like it's of a concern, then they're usually going to send them back to Philly and see the Philly doctors.
True. I mean, changing teams a little bit. I know Boston's holding their breath because Justin Turner took a high fastball to the face today.
Oh,
I
I
don't know
didn't
if
see that.
it was bad. Him like right here.
Yeah,
He,
that's
he,
not good.
no, it was pretty ugly just to watch too.
Yeah, I
So,
forgot that's where he landed.
yep, he's up. I think he signed a 1 year, $10 million deal with Boston for the year.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty, but no, like you said, it's always good when a player is just pulled from the lineup and not sent back to their home team because when they're sent back to the city, they're like you said more concerned for injury, so they want to meet with the doctors up here instead of down in Florida. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I mean, I think opening day is what 1 month away from today.
Yeah.
No, less than
Oh.
that.
Yeah. It's
3 weeks.
what's the date? 20,
Yeah,
26th?
I think the Phillies start on the 29th or 30th.
29th? Okay.
I think they open.
I
in
don't know why I
Texas.
thought it was the 26th, but yeah. Okay.
So, with that being said, the WBC should be soon, isn't it? Or has it already started?
It's I don't think it's started yet, but I think it's about to.
So now you got these teams that are going to be losing some people to go play for that. And now, as a team, like you're crossing your fingers because I know the Phillies have a decent number of players playing in it. So
Yeah.
you're keeping your fingers and your toes crossed that nobody gets hurt.
Starts on Tuesday.
Okay, starts on the 11th. Curtis just said it in the chat.
I got something here that says it starts on Tuesday the 7th.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting.
hey, maybe that's the first day for USA.
Maybe.
You know,
Well,
maybe
yeah,
maybe Canada starts on the 11th.
I was just going to say, maybe that's when Canada's first game is.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, trying to think of what else. I mean, it'll be a very interesting baseball season. Like you said, Jake Cave has almost solidified himself as the fourth outfielder. Sosa is,
Yeah.
I guess, the front runner to be a utility infielder.
Yep, absolutely. And then that probably means that Kingery doesn't make the team because I don't think they're going to carry two utility infielders.
No, I wouldn't hope. I wouldn't think so.
They can't. They gotta, they have to cover for Harper, so you're going to have to carry an extra outfielder, I think.
Well, I think today he played center field. Now, could you look at Kingery as like an off day center fielder?
Possibly. I mean, there's a chance
Because that's what
because you're going to have to carry one more, and if it's if right now if you're looking at Schwarber, Marsh, and Castellanos, and then you add Jake Cave, and then you maybe throw Kingery in there. Maybe that's your five.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean,
That's a chance, yeah, for sure.
like all Philly sports this year is a very head scratching type of season that's going to happen.
Yeah, isn't it always?
Yeah, well, welcome to Philly. I mean,
We're just used to it.
I could just sit here and scratch my head all night and say, "What the hell was that?" Because like I know you don't know much about basketball, but like the Sixers are a hot and cold team.
Yeah, big
Maybe.
win against Milwaukee on Saturday.
Yep, broke a 17-game winning streak from Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Harden is just playing out of his mind this year. I mean, he's right now in the form that everybody thought he would have been when he first got here. I think he's just finally getting to. I mean, Embiid is quietly having one of the biggest years he's had.
True.
And Harden has been both contributing to that and a beneficiary of that. And now that you got Maxey back in the starting lineup, I think that's a big key as well because now you get his confidence built back up again, and he's averaging over the last few games about over 20 points a game.
Yeah.
That's what you need out of him. So if you get those three guys hitting on all cylinders, and you somebody boxes up Tobias Harris and ships him out of town, then I think you got a team that can, at least get in the mix. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they still end up with home playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read the box score from the Milwaukee game Saturday night. Hardy, Maxey, and Embiid all had 20-plus points. But then I'm looking at the top, P.J. Tucker only had 3, and Tobias only had 2 points.
Yeah, Tobias is done. I mean, he's just done. But I mean, nobody wants that contract. That's the problem.
That is the big thing.
They're not going to be able to move him. I don't think, unless they just take another expiring contract and just trade expiring contracts and then respectively release the players.
Yeah, well, they were actually in the run trying to sign Kevin Love once he got bought out from Cleveland, but he chose Miami. I mean, you bring Kevin Love in, I think that would have been an upgrade over Tobias.
Jimmy Butler was happy about that.
Yeah.
He's been trying to single-handedly carry that team.
Well, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a star of a franchise. Well, Jimmy, you got your wish. Here's Miami for you.
He didn't realize how sore he'd get it by having to carry him on his back.
Yeah. And I know the Clippers do, I guess, in a sense, regretting signing Russell Westbrook. He's been nothing but a headache.
Yeah.
There's certain players in the NBA you stay away from. And these teams are starting to have that list grow little by little. Then you have a dumb kid in John Morant out in Memphis goes on Instagram Live at a nightclub holding a gun.
Yeah.
Like, you say bye to your career.
Yeah, he got a quiet suspension.
Right,
like two or 3 games from the team.
Yeah, but the league's investigating it now.
Yeah. But because the team already took an action on it, it may lessen the blow a little bit.
Yes and no. I mean, I could see the league saying, okay, you did your job in punishing them, but now we're going to step in and punish them even more.
It's always a possibility.
Because I think Nike already released a statement. He's going to lose endorsements probably out of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just look how much Kyrie Irving lost with that whole thing up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be as severe. It might be worse. But these players need to learn, hey, I'm a businessman. I'm representing a brand. I gotta be smarter with my decisions.
Yeah.
And then my only other thing, I know you don't talk NHL. Flyers they beat Detroit yesterday, but they lost the game I was at last Wednesday. I tried to do a little impromptu live from the stadium last Wednesday. Didn't really last that long, but our friend Kevin Peake got honored by the Flyers. That's very cool to see in person. If you haven't watched it, I have a video up on the page that you can go back and watch Kevin get presented with an actual authentic jersey that has the fight strap and all, which was pretty cool. But the Flyers are a mess as well. Thanks, Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah, I think this is the end of Fletcher after this season. I think they gotta reset. I mean, they made a trade that made no sense for a team that's, basically has to strip down, and they're picking up veterans at the trade deadline, and I don't know. I don't know what they're up to. They tried to give JVR away and couldn't give him away.
Well, again, no one's going to take on his cap hit.
Because their contracts, the contracts they gave these guys are outrageous.
Yep. It started with Paul Holmgren, went to Ron Hextall, now it's on Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah. Well, I think the only one that survives the firestorm here is going to be Tortorella.
That is possible.
I think everybody else they're going to wipe the slate clean and they're going to just start rebuilding.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been needing to do.
And they just haven't been pulling the trigger on it. And that's they finally got to just bite the bullet and say, look, it can't get much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already lost a lot of fans. who just can't watch them anymore. People that remember this proud franchise. I mean, Ed Snyder be rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah.
It's just they've dismantled the legacy of the Philadelphia Flyers.
No, I agree.
I mean, they used to be vaulted. It's a team that all free agents wanted to go to. An organization that they all wanted to be in, and now nobody wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Yep.
So they gotta just start from scratch. But I think Torts survives the firestorm at least for a year or two.
And I will tell you one thing about the Flyers too. Gary can contest to this also if he remembers. We were at that game last Wednesday versus the Rangers, right?
Yep.
I shit you not. The whole lower level was nothing but blue shirts. You would think we're at Madison Square Garden watching a Rangers Flyers game with how many Rangers fans were in that stadium last Wednesday. It was absolutely out of this mind.
And I think that was the wake up call for the organization. I think that I can never remember a time when that happened.
It was horrible.
And now the Flyers fans have just bailed, and that opens up that kind of opportunity for these New York maggots to come down here and invade.
Invade, not a word I would use. Embarrass, take over.
Yeah. And like I said, you never saw that happen when Ed Snyder was here.
No.
I mean, Comcast just they have no interest in winning. They have no interest in having this be anything other than an entry on the financial ledger to offset profits.
Yep.
Because they can lose money and they can write it off against, the $800 a month they get from us to, have cable.
Yeah, but in which you can't watch a Flyers hockey game on anymore.
Yeah.
That game was supposed to be on national TV on TNT, and then in this area it was blacked out on TNT, and then NBC Philly didn't even show the game.
Yeah.
But one really funny thing about that game, though, we were sitting up in the upper level. We were up in the 200 level, right? I was sitting there. It was me, my friend Julian, and Gary, and then to our right there was a couple more Flyers fans, right?
Yeah.
There's a row of Rangers fans sitting directly behind us. Guy comes back up after the first intermission, has tickets. He's a season ticket holder. His ticket rep gave him a free upgrade to go sit down low for the rest of the night if he wanted to. He said, "Oh, I don't want him." So he looks behind us and asked the Rangers fans how many people were in the group. They said 3. Handed him each a ticket and said, here's a free upgrade. The seats are down in that left-hand corner section of 108. Have fun. Go enjoy yourself. These Rangers fans are like, "Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, man." They get up and leave. It's like, damn, it was only easy to get rid of those 3 assholes before the game started.
Nice.
Because they were chanting, "Let's go Rangers." They were drowning out Flyers fans with how loud they were chanting.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. It's just, it's sad.
Yeah, like Gary just said in the chat too, like the Rangers fans were shouting and like the Flyers fans were actually booing, trying to drown them out, and it wasn't happening. But like, I hope that they don't get rid of everybody. My cousin works for the Flyers; he's an equipment manager. So, Mike, if you're watching, I hope you survive the storm. I mean, they have to do something because they had a season ticket holder event this past Saturday for just season ticket holders, and people were showing up with brown paper bags over their heads. One guy had a sweatshirt with "Fire Chuck" written on it. Like, the fan base, like you said, has turned completely against this organization, and it's hard to watch.
Yep.
And they're putting all that money into that Wells Fargo Center for what? Basketball games? And the Sixers are talking about leaving it anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't think that stadium in Chinatown ever gets off the ground, though. I can't see them being able to pull that off, and it just, it doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't have happened. I think so. They said like 2032. Who the hell knows what's going to happen in 9 years?
Yep.
9 years, I'll be 45. I mean, that says it alone right there. But yeah, and then my fun side note: William Byron dominated the NASCAR race yesterday in Las Vegas, making left-hand turns for 3 hours. Bryce Harper was the grand marshal of the race. I will say that.
Left turn.
Ron
Left
hates
turn.
NASCAR, so I just like to throw that little bit in
Yeah,
there
yeah.
to make him scratch his head and say, "What?"
Well, hate is such a strong word, really. I despise it, but I don't know if I hate it.
Have you ever
It's
have you ever
I
watched it in person?
I no, I have not. I watched an Indy race, but I never watched a NASCAR race.
Well, they're athletes too. There's a lot of strategy behind it.
Well,
You got to be in top physical shape. Being able to go 190 plus miles per hour for 3 straight hours with all the G forces you have, it takes a lot out of you. So
yeah, well, I mean, I was going to go to a NASCAR race one time, but my cousin didn't want to go.
why is that?
No, no reason.
No, okay.
No,
Well,
no.
I would take you down to Dover this year. How about that?
I'm not opposed. I mean, I have seen the atmosphere and stuff. It looks kind of cool, but it wasn't something that I chose to follow. Let's put it that way. Uh,
Gotcha.
that depends, Gary. Uh,
I think
how old are you?
Gary just turned 62, I believe,
We are almost exactly the same age. Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
yes. If that is the case,
He's around 62.
I am. I am. I will be 62 this year.
Gary, I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I'm thinking. I am
65.
65.
Okay, so we're in the ballpark.
I'm the baby of the group. I'm 36.
Yeah. Well, I could tell because like I'm up here and you're like down here a little
Yeah.
bit. It's like
No, I mean, I can pump the show up if you want. I was trying to make it so you could. I was trying to make it so everyone could see the sign behind me, Ron. Okay.
yeah, okay. No, I'm good. I apologize. I didn't mean that.
Yeah. Okay. You guys are
Okay.
also super young. Cause you're just as old as I am. I don't want to hear it.
uh,
Curtis is just being funny. That's okay.
yeah. Well, you're on. It's just a number, man.
Here,
It's just a number.
watch. I'll fix the chair. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, see, now you can't see the now Macanas.
Did you ever notice that only old people say that? It's just a number.
Yeah.
It's just a number.
Oh, trust me, that number can stop aging in a couple years if it wants. I feel, like I said, I'm 36, but I feel a lot older than that some days. With the hard physical work I've done for 17 years, come on.
Yeah.
Unloading trucks and all that fun stuff.
Well, my wife's only 44, so
Okay. I was talking about Ron and Gary. Me and you are just kids. Thank you, Curtis. That makes me feel good.
yeah.
I'm starting to die. Yep. I'm trying to be centered.
No, you're good. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, Jen.
hey, Jan, how are you? Nice to see you. But what other sports news would you like to talk about? Should we find some wacky fun news to talk about? Should we?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's unless somebody else has something in the chat that we missed. I mean, we can just move on to whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of random night. Yeah, because all that other stuff was all in one big kind of lumped into one big lump.
True. Let's see. Wacky sports news. No, I think you guys got all the sports news. Okay.
Yeah. We try. We like I said, I was scouring the internet looking for some stuff that happened today, because now they're going back to football for a second. There is a renewed interest in Baker Mayfield. Um, there's a chance. Um, the Rams thought they were just going to be able to re-sign him, but it looks like there may be two other teams that are in the mix. And as you predicted, John, one of them is the 49ers.
Really?
The 49ers have expressed an amount of interest in him, as has there was another team. Who was the other one? I just had it up here. Hang on.
Let me see. Baker Mayfield. I'm seeing if I can find it too. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, Tampa Bay, right. That was the other one.
Okay.
The Chiefs are going to release Frank Clark, the defensive end.
Yep, I did see that. They're not tagging Orlando Brown.
Yep.
A lot of teams are hurting for money. There's a lot of teams out there hurting for money this year.
Yeah. Tennessee's going to release Bud Dupree.
And I think they might be possibly putting Derrick Henry on the trade block.
That's been out there.
And then the Vikings cut Eric Kendricks.
Hey, Derrick Henry looked good in Kelly Green.
That'd be a hefty price tag.
Yeah, it would.
A hefty.
Not something that they would normally do. I was just saying he would look good.
Oh, it would look amazing, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what else we have. Okay, go cap tracker. So yeah, hold on. Yeah, Chicago still leads the way with a projected $96.8 million in cap space. That's insane. And as of now, they still have the number one overall pick.
Do you guys have any comment with the union?
Comment.
Okay. I'll be honest. It's not something I follow on a regular basis. I did follow them closer to the end, when they hit the playoffs. But prior to that, I'll be honest with you, I really not following them very closely. Although I did play soccer before, so I don't mind watching soccer to an extent.
No, never played soccer. I didn't like it in gym class neither. Wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I mean, I always got picked on trying to kick the ball. I always felt like my legs weren't strong enough to kick. So
yeah.
But union games are fun to go to. It's a very crazy atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a fun crowd.
Yes.
Definitely. And that's a nice stadium down there too.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful.
How much was the team? How much, like, I'm trying to get what Jen's trying to ask. How much was the team? I mean, I'm kind of confused by that. Jen, I'm not trying to be mean, but can you reword that a little bit? Like, how much does the team have to spend right now? Eagles are what? It says $5.5 million to the good.
Yeah, they're about 5.5. Yeah, but that could change as of tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that is true. That's not much.
No, but I mean they still have the opportunity, but they can't until after Wednesday to restructure some contracts. Once the new league season starts, then they can start to negotiate restructuring of contracts to free up cap space.
Yeah. They gotta do something.
So they will be doing that with a number of players, no doubt.
I mean, as of right now, there's 10 teams technically over the cap. Carolina, Cleveland, the Rams, Minnesota, Miami, Buffalo, Dallas, Chargers, Saints, Jacksonville, and Tampa Bay.
I don't see how the Rams get under the cap. I just don't. I think they may be the worst.
No, Rams are actually only $14 million over.
14. Okay.
Tampa Bay's the worst.
Are they?
57.1.
Wow. Over?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
But that should subside a little bit with Brady coming off the books.
Yeah, that's true.
They were probably going to let Leonard Fournette go away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, Jen, we're talking about teams that are over. And I'm going to try to explain this to a Jen real quick so she understands what we're talking about. In the NFL, every team has what they call a salary number. There's a salary cap in football that teams have to be at or under by the start of their next calendar year, so then they can re-sign players, sign free agents, and stuff like that. And right now, the LA Rams are $14 million over that. So they have to either trade, release, or restructure contracts to get that number below where the cap's supposed to be at. So $14 million is a very high number to be over, but 57 is even worse.
Yeah, they to make up 14 million, that might only be 2 or 3 players, agreeing to a lesser salary this coming year and tacking it onto the back end of their deal in order to kind of kick the can down the road as far as the salary obligations go. The Eagles took a hit a few years back with Carson Wentz, where we had a particular season where we were very much over and had to pay out a lot of dead money to Carson, and that was one of the reasons why there were people that we wanted to keep that we couldn't, because we had to make up the money we had to pay to get Carson Wentz the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But one of the best people in the entire NFL at managing that number is Howie Roseman from the Eagles. So if anybody can make some magic happen, it's him.
That is true. I mean, what's crazy looking at this chart I just pulled up, right now, as a whole, the Eagles have $5.7 million invested in the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And then you got teams like Washington, obviously with getting rid of like Wentz and Heineken being a free agent, only have $1.9 million tied to quarterbacks.
And you really haven't heard anything about any interest in Heineke.
No, which is kind of surprising.
So it's possible he stays.
Yeah, it really is possible.
I mean, you could trot him out there for a year if you draft a guy, and let Heineke, carry you for a year. That's a possibility.
True.
Having already known the system and being able to work with a young guy.
Yeah, I mean, that is very true.
Plus the volatility of possibly the team changing hands as well.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Dan Snyder is definitely going to sell.
Oh, well, with all the stuff they have on that man right now, he has no choice but to sell.
Yeah, he's got to take the money and run. Literally. maybe to a country that doesn't have extradition.
Jen wants to know who is the oldest football player. It was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, I guess, retired. And he was
That's a good question.
And he was 46 this year?
Yeah.
So
I will have that answer in a second.
Now I think it would be Nick Folk, the kicker from the Patriots. I think he's 42?
Jason Peters at 41.
Oh, wow.
Is now the oldest active NFL player.
And who knows if he's going to come back?
Yep. But it's ex-Eagle Jason Peters.
Wow. Yeah, wow. I mean, 41
It's
years old.
yeah, it's usually a kicker.
And usually is a kicker, yes.
Yeah, I remember Morton Anderson was like 45 or 46 when he retired, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Guy back in the day with Oakland.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't have to work for the rest of his life. Nope. Once you sign a big contract in the NFL, you're pretty much set for life. Unless
If you invest it, don't invest it in Bitcoin.
Yeah. It would be dumb and gambled away.
Yeah. Like Charles Barkley.
Barkley was one. Didn't Lenny Dykstra got in a big bit of gambling problems too?
Yeah, he also went to prison for taxes and stuff.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of players that probably should get locked up for tax evasion, but they do a good job of hiding it.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, shit, I'd be just happy signing a $1 million deal with the team. Hey, I'll hold your clipboard. Pete Rose. That's another good one.
Yeah.
That was Pete Rose's own dumb fault, and then the Phillies tried to bring him back into MLB,
and he steps in it again.
Yeah, what a mockery that was.
He had an opportunity. They fought to give him the opportunity to be there, and then he goes on a live mic and say what he said. So
yeah, that'll get you kicked out real quick again.
Yep. Now he's done. You know, I don't think anybody will take the chance again.
I hope not. I wouldn't.
I mean, that's a guy who once he's gone, and it's sad to say, but the only chance he ever has of getting in the Hall of Fame is after he's passed.
Do you think they would?
I think there's a chance. If they don't have to put a microphone under his nose, yeah, I think there's a chance.
No, does he get the full out bust, or does he just get his name?
No, he gets the full posthumous postmortis treatment. He made some disparaging comments about a female reporter.
Yeah. And Philly too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That way.
During their alumni weekend.
Okay. Yeah, that's the elevator, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We won't go into details, but I do remember hearing about that.
But it was pretty bad. It was bad enough that once it got out, you know, people were outraged, flabbergasted, you know, whatever adjective you want to use.
Flabbergasted is a good one, especially since it was the day of all the ceremonies. You just can't nix them out after that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have.
I mean, he did okay on the field, but then they let him in the broadcast booth for a half an inning.
Oh my God, that was a nightmare.
And that was where it all went south.
Really bad. But I mean, I know John Cook's even bad sometimes in the booth.
Yeah, but not that bad.
Yeah. One of these, right, Ron?
Yeah, that's it. It was like the famous John Shake.
Yeah.
If I don't get one tonight, I feel like I haven't done my job.
Well, I'll have to start getting Sheldon back in here. We'll get really Ron's going in the chat. Jen, you miss all the fun. They pick on me 4 nights a week. Can you believe it? Well, technically 3. Because the one night I host by myself.
There you go.
To get a break from you guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, the sad thing is last week you had to put up with me all 3 nights, so.
Yeah, and Wednesday I didn't do a show. Damn, you're right.
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, I survived.
Hey, yeah, you made it through. That was like the test.
Was it? Oh, you're testing me now, even though it's technically my show.
Well, correct, but I'm just turning Morgan loose on you for tomorrow.
No,
so if you think you're doing better tomorrow, you got another thing coming.
Oh,
because the boss is going to be back.
I do have something coming tomorrow. I got something for Morgan tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoy the show and I can catch it. Jen, the show goes from a PG level to an NC-17 real quick.
Zoom.
So You want to see some out of control behavior? Go back and watch some old shows. And this is only just the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Hey, we have fun. That's what counts.
Hey, that's what it is. We like the interaction with the people in the chat. People want to shoot jokes at me, call me a man-child, as usual.
You just can't get over that one, can you?
No, I'm not. It's going to be on my gravestone. I decided, John the man-child Nast.
Well, that's okay. Mine will say Ron, DJ Scoop, testing.
There you go. See what? Helps me get through the night at the job. Well, see, so at least somebody listens and enjoys our sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly.
There's people that probably listen and like, I thought this was a sports talk show.
Yeah. Gary, just don't leave your phone on a forklift.
Yeah, right.
We had somebody else listening at work that got grease all over their phone because they left it on the. Good night, Jen.
Good night, John. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you. Because he left it on the forklift.
His name won't be spoken out. Maybe on the vacuum. Maybe on the vacuum. Oh boy.
There you go.
I could see Gary going inside the vacuum because the phone gets sucked up.
Yeah. Kind of gives a new meaning to this sucks. There it is. There it is. It was like a half. Right. Where's my elbow?
Yeah, man. If anyone else is listening in chat, we determined last Friday. Was it last? No.
Yeah.
It was last Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yes.
That one of the Mythbusters says you can't lick your elbow. So me and Ron have been trying it every night since.
Not each other's. Not each other. Our own. I'm in a whole different town.
Who was it? Someone did ask me that the other day. Oh, my friend who's actually going to be joining me on Wednesday. Actually, do we do it in person or do we do this virtually?
Yeah.
I said virtually, but if he wants to come in and do it in person, that's more than welcome too. I mean,
Well, now that you have the fancy studio, I mean, we could. You know?
I mean, it's not 100% done.
Yeah.
I have some tweaking to do. You can ask Gary. He was, like I said, over here helping me last night. But the majority of it is done.
Still looks great.
I mean, it's just nice to have a different backdrop.
Yeah.
Now Morgan can't whine and complain that the pictures are off-centered in the background because you don't see pictures anymore.
Yep, that's true.
Now you just have an off-centered sign. That me and Gary finagled to get this much into the picture shot as it is.
Right.
So yes, I know I'm missing the T. Was it? Hold on. Nope, wait. The T's cut off at the top, and then you're missing the W. So it's the he base shoe with Mr. Nast. Say that 3 times fast.
No, thank you.
He basement shoe with Mr. Nast.
Yeah.
Hoy, hoy.
Hi.
Oh. It's better than what it was and put that way. Gary spot on with that comment. It is a lot better than what it was.
Yes.
Because before, like, I would have been completely cutting off to about here. And all you would have saw was basement shoot.
Yeah.
So this was the biggest task, getting it like lined up with the camera to be behind me.
Gotcha.
And no, this is not a green screen. Yes, officially in the basement. Yep.
The basement show finally made it to the basement.
It started in... Okay, here's the backstory, okay? When I first started this show, it was actually called The Knash Show. The Nash Show. That was the original title of it.
Okay.
But then I talked to my friend. I was like, you know, would you want to help me with this? We'll change the name. I'll make it like The Basement Show with Mr. Nash or something. He was like, oh, it's catchy. I like it. So our first episode we ever did was actually a 45-minute audio recording. I had my laptop, he had his, we had microphones, and then he went back and edited it and published it. So it actually started in the room I'm in now, because I had my roommate at the time. So I couldn't be upstairs, but then once she moved out, that's when I made the move upstairs. And set up everything up in that room. But then I was like, how can you still call it a basement show when it's in a spare bedroom? So
I don't know. The spare bedroom show just doesn't have the same kind of pizzazz to it.
No. So then I was like, I have this whole room downstairs now. Let me transform this into a studio. And I mean, now I have my desk down here. Everything's down here but my mini fridge.
There you go.
That's the last thing that's gonna come down. Then I can really have some fun down here. It's kind of creepy though, because having headphones on, you can't hear anyone at your door. So I have to get the rig or something on my phone, but
Yeah,
yes, we're officially in the basement. It feels good.
there you go. And the greatest thing is there's not a closet nearby to lock me in.
No, but I do got something else down here I can put you in now. Do you prefer normal wash, hot wash, or cold wash?
I prefer cold rinse.
Cold rinse?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll put you in a cold rinse and then a normal tumble.
There you go. That'll
Okay,
work.
I'll put you in the washer and dryer. How about that?
That would be both pleasant and disturbing.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Yes, just a little.
But
Well, it was where I officially got my start, so
yeah, I mean,
the unofficial producer at the time.
yeah, you figure that's probably been about 3 months by now, right?
Yeah, it's time flies, man.
Yeah, I mean, next Friday, the 17th, oddly enough, being St. Patrick's Day, will be our 100th live show
Nice.
since August 15th. I can't believe that. We got the cryptic messages that come up saying something about see you soon on March 23rd.
Yeah.
I mean, they even made a post on the page the other day.
Yep, saw that.
So, I mean, we're going up. I mean, we finally hit our 300 number on Facebook. We're at 301. 47 subscribers on YouTube. 44 Twitch followers. And I'm trying to improve the TikTok game. We're sitting at 26 on that. So, all said and totaled, at 70, 147, what's that? 348 followers, 448 followers on 4 platforms.
Nice.
So
Not too shabby, man.
no, I mean it's definitely improving.
Yeah. And just because it's a nice PG show to watch.
Wait, PG?
Well, it starts there.
It
It starts.
starts at PG, then goes PG-13, slightly after oil, and NC-17.
Yeah, Tuesday just went to hell quick though.
Yeah. I mean, this past Friday we stayed on topic pretty good.
Yeah, we were doing pretty good because we had a huge amount of people active in the chat on Friday. Man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well over 400
Boy,
comments in the chat.
I think it was 475 altogether because we had someone new on YouTube who was really good. Polo. I hope if they subscribe to the channel, they come back because they knew their movies very good. We had Morgan's friend Marlena.
Marlena was awesome as well.
So, but now that I have this nice fancy setup, if people want to actually join us in person, I can set you up on a side computer, and you can do the show right in the same room I am.
Nice.
I got a whole second station set up to my left hand side. It has its own monitor, its own webcam, you get your own mic, everything.
Nice.
I mean, I'm moving up in the world, man.
Yeah, man. Getting fancy.
Getting fancy. That's what they say. So they say.
Yep.
But
so is there anybody in the chat got anything that we didn't cover?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, it's pretty quiet in here tonight. We had Gary for a while. My friend Jen popped in.
Yeah.
Curtis is always in and out.
Yep.
He's over supporting Sam because I saw Jesus Freak Gaming was streaming.
Yeah. Which usually means that Curtis is over blowing something up somewhere.
Yeah, that is true. Or just hanging out in Sam's chat, and Sam's probably playing Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Everyone is obsessed with that game. I have yet to try it. It's like the Wizardry of Hogwarts or something. But every streamer I know right now is playing it, which is
Nice.
crazy. I'll stick to my Fortnite, even though I did promise Darth Nexus, who was on a couple weeks ago with the video game show, and Kevin, I would get Call of Duty this week so I can link up and play COD with them. They've been bugging the hell out of me.
Okay. Gotcha.
So on my off nights now, you'll be finding me trying my best at Call of Duty, by sucking horribly, but
Yeah. You have off nights, really?
once in a blue moon.
Doesn't seem that way.
No. I mean, it certainly doesn't. Especially with the either working on content, being on the 4 shows in a week, or being at the bowling alley.
Yep.
Speaking of bowling, I actually bowled a 529 this past Saturday. I was very happy with that.
Nice.
My average has gone up to a 166.
Cool. Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit, but I'm been pretty consistent up to this past week. This past week, I all day I was pushing freight all day, and I went into bowling, and I was extremely sore, and my scores reflected that.
Oh boy.
So, was not my best effort.
But the biggest thing is you have fun.
I always have fun.
And that's how I look at it now. It's like, sure, like there's some of these, like the one you're in Wednesday nights is very competitive.
Yeah.
But the one I'm in on Saturdays is a super laid back league. There's some people that take it way too serious. Because I get it. They're in that competitive mind spirit, bowling so much. Then you come to a lesser league like that, but you're still thinking that it's like a regular Wednesday, Thursday night league, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're getting pissed off for missing a 7-pin.
Yeah.
Just fucking have fun. Who cares?
Yeah, it's true. It's not like you're making $1 million. I mean, you know.
Oh, $1 million if I'm missing the 7-pin. I'm taking my shoe off and throwing it halfway down the damn lane. But there's like 7 teams in my Saturday league. So you miss a shot. Brush it off and move on.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the Wednesday night league has 17 teams.
They didn't have more than that at one point.
No, I think this is the highest it's been. I think maybe 20.
I was gonna say,
Maybe I had 20 2 years ago, maybe. But yeah, I think we're at 17 or 18 right now.
Still a decent sized league.
Yeah.
And what, 5 members per team? That's almost 100 people bowling in it. So
Yep.
can't beat
True.
that.
Yeah.
And then it's almost golf season. I don't know if you golf or not, but
Yeah, I golf a little.
I'm not Tiger Woods, but
No, me neither.
but the last couple times I've gone out, I actually figured out my swing. And I don't have to kill the ball anymore.
Yeah.
I actually feel the less power I put behind my swing, the straighter my ball goes. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's just the control with the backswing. If you make a slow backswing and then you put all your weight forward and hit through the ball, that usually solves that problem real quick.
Yeah, I would try killing it. Oh, there goes Johnny off to the right. Oh, there goes Johnny to the left.
You get that baseball swing mentality sometimes.
Yeah, when you watch the baseball players go to Top Golf or something and they're launching
Yeah.
balls over these damn fence, like, oh, look at this one. It's out of here.
Yep.
And then you're finding it on the other side of the highway that's gone through 4 windows because of how hard they hit the damn thing.
Yeah, I've hit a couple of houses down in Myrtle Beach back in the day, in my early years. I remember, shanking a ball when there's houses like running along the fairway. Yeah. A lot of them have nets and stuff up, but sometimes you just can't help it.
Washington Township. I don't know if you're familiar with that par 3 course down there. There's a
Yep.
house on the one side of that hole 6 or 7 when you cross the street. There's that
Yeah.
house. I went on the deck a couple times. I bounced it off the roof a couple times.
Nice.
I'm just waiting for the homeowner to come out and yell at me.
Yeah, but if you live on a golf course, you have to expect a certain amount of that.
Yeah. I mean, Matt would tell you one time we were in the Outer Banks. We were going to play Currituck Country Club in Duck, North Carolina. It would have been $175 to play. And the fairways are so tight because, like you said, there's houses on both sides.
Yeah.
So the night before, we're sitting around the table, we're all drinking, and we decided, you know what? The hell with this. Let's just get drunk and not go tomorrow morning. So we canceled our tea time because we were both scared shitless about breaking windows.
Yeah.
We decided to drink all night instead. But we did play Duck Country Club, which was a really nice golf course down there.
Nice.
So we did play at least one round of golf.
There you go. Long as you play at least one round, you qualify.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make that trip with you.
Then you could call it a golf trip.
Yeah. Now imagine doing a show like this on a golf course. How fast we get kicked off?
Yeah, pretty quick. Pretty quick.
Especially with Kevin McGowan, if he ever goes down with us. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kevin, where's that thing at? I'm going to pop this up real quick so we can talk about it. Do you remember this, Ron? May 9th? Did it pop up yet? No? There it goes.
Dollar Dog Night.
Yep. May 9th. It's a Tuesday night. It's a interleague game. Phillies versus Blue Jays. Who knows where both teams will be by then. But it's a Dollar Dog Night, and we're trying to see if people in our area, I mean, unless you want to travel to come, that's fine too, want to join up with us. We're going to try to do some type of show from the baseball stadium. Ron also has suggested a hot dog eating contest, which, if you ask me, is a very bad idea.
Well, we could make it a combos eating contest.
Oh, jeez, that's even worse. Morgan would probably leave right as soon as she got there, because I extended the invite to her and Kevin to join us as well. So
yeah, I've already had 3 or 4 people let me know that they're interested. So, need to start looking at ticket availability and stuff.
I was thinking if we could get enough people to maybe go, maybe we could call and see how much it would cost to get that upper part of Ashburn Alley.
Oh boy, yeah.
Unless that's using out of price range.
That's a little pricey, but that I could look into it.
Like, say we can just get bleacher seats up there.
Yeah.
Then we
You
can
got the there's an area with some bleacher seats right above the Bulls Barbecue, like right down there, down the left field line.
Okay.
There's a bleacher area down there that's a nice spot. It's kind of everything's right there, and you know, it's not a bad place to watch the game either.
Yeah, I mean, just
So-
more people to join us would be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into more this week,
Okay.
but I'm definitely in no matter what. So
Oh, I'll be there too. I took off.
Yeah.
I got approved for the night off. So,
Yep.
who knows? Maybe we'll have more merchandise. I made a custom phone case as well.
nice.
So, yes, you're
That's
on there
awesome.
too, on.
Yeah, nice.
So now people can ask me about the show, and I can just show them my phone.
See, there it is.
People actually like it. It's a cool case.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. I like it.
So, Gary has the questions. Aaron Rodgers retiring.
No,
I
I don't believe so. Aaron Rodgers will find somebody that's going to pay him some money. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Jets. And then he will just torture another team the way he's tortured Green Bay, but he might be able to attract Devontae Adams to come join him.
I mean, if you can get Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers in New York, that might be actually kind of scary.
It would be interesting. It would make that AFC East a little more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because right now it's what Miami, Buffalo as a 2-team race. The Patriots always hang around there.
Yep.
So
And then throw Aaron Rodgers in there.
yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, though, if he winds up in the New York Jets, he's no longer Aaron Rodgers. Okay?
No.
He's now called Brett Favre 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they'll play with the Jets for 2-3 years, and then go to Minnesota, retire a Viking like Brett Favre did.
Yeah.
And then we can say they're officially father and son.
There you go. That was always the rumor.
Even though Brett Favre's in a whole hell of a lot of trouble right now down in Mississippi.
Yeah.
With that foundation or whatever, accusing him of taking all that money.
Ah.
I would have to dig into it. I can look into it for next week, but I do.
Yeah.
Apparently, the state was trying to get like government funding money to do something, but the money got diverted to Brett Favre and his foundation, and it was like millions of dollars. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I'll look into that and I'll have more for you on it on next week.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that.
I will have that for you. I promise. I don't have my notebooks or anything down here, my sticky notes, but I will make a note of it and I will get more information for you.
Okay.
That'll be my sports homework for the week.
That's your homework for the week?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, if there's nothing else going on, we have to cut this one short tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, we still got a 90-minute show in, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, next week we should have a lot to talk about with all the developments that are going to happen within the next 7 or 8 days.
Yeah.
Stuff will start to leak out after next Monday. As teams start to negotiate, agents have a tendency to leak certain information, even though it's not official. So I'm sure by the time we go on the air next Monday, some of these free agent movements will be becoming more clear.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have the second monitor. I always have my notebooks out for free agency and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of why I don't like free agency as much as the draft anymore. Because the draft actually got away from that. Because before, you're watching coverage of the draft, and they would show a player taking a phone call, and then the next thing you know, that player's getting picked.
Yeah.
ESPN and NFL Network the last couple of years has done a very good job of keeping that suspense built up for you.
Yep.
Now with the free agency, like you said, agents can now negotiate starting noon next Monday, even though they legally can't sign until 4 o'clock Wednesday. But those first 2 days, you pretty much know where all the big names are going.
Yeah, because it all leaks out.
Which is cool in a way, but also takes away from the anticipation in a way too.
This is true.
So it depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you off stream about what I have planned for tomorrow night.
Okay.
So it'll make you laugh, and you'll probably do one of these too. But
no doubt.
other than that, Gary, thanks for popping in. We had Jen pop in for a little bit.
Curtis
was looking for a little bit. Trey stopped in with the compliment in the background.
Yep.
I mean, once I get these wires figured out, I shouldn't lose connection. I only lost it 2 or 3 times, so that's not bad. I'll take that.
Nah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think it was just Curtis, Gary, Jen, and Trey tonight.
Yeah. Unless there were other people here that didn't come in the chat.
That is true. I mean,
yep.
We'll always welcome people in to chime in the chat and let us know.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Great show, John. It looks good and sounds good.
Yeah, I agree. It looks great, and your sound is awesome.
Cool. I mean, it's a lot different being down here, that's for sure. Oops.
Yep.
As I hit my mic.
As you bump your mic, yeah.
Still looking at the nicks and crannies around here, but I just feel like I have a lot more space down here.
Yeah.
Before I was like stuck in a tiny corner because I have that L-shaped desk. But now I have it in an open room. I can spin around more. We didn't put it completely against the wall, so you have more room behind me and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, but this is the biggest thing. I like having this behind me.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's more professional.
Yes.
Now,
fancy.
Now we just need you to get the same one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you kind of have the pattern going. Mine's more of a bricklayer.
Yeah, yep. Well, I have another one, like I said, that I already have, but it's I have to make some more adjustments in the room here before I can hang it.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Yep.
But so I will be back tomorrow night for entertainment night with Morgan and a twist. And then Wednesday, I just actually confirmed a guest who will be joining me for Wednesday. His name is Big E America. He's a Twitch streamer, also one of my best friends. He was actually a Twitch partner for a couple of years. So he'll be on to talk about his streaming and all that fun stuff. Plus, we'll probably dive into Super Nintendo a little bit. And then Friday night, we will be back for Friday night movie night, which I think we might have to do some more cult classics. I think that really took off last Friday.
Yeah, yeah. It was very popular.
We might have to venture down that list a little bit from 51 down. Maybe we'll go from like 51 to 100.
Start at 100 and go up to 50.
I think we could have fun with that again.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for coming in. We appreciate you. Always a pleasure. Gary, especially, thank you for assisting with the studio. That's awesome.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yep. And we will see you guys during the course of the week. And then next Monday, hopefully, we have some good news to report with our Eagles and their exploits into the market based on what transpires over the next 48 hours.
It's going to be a very crucial 48 hours.
Correct.
And who knows, if we have to, maybe we can do a pop-up breaking news type show on Thursday.
Yeah. I mean, if we have stuff that's pressing and we want to get it out there, I don't see why not.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
Yep.
So, but other than that, I'm gonna say have a good night. Ron, any last words?
Have a good night. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
See ya.